Hi everyone, I wanted to make this video just as a final update on my story with cancer. First, I'm going to give a little explanation on everything that I've gone through and where I'm at right now. And then I'll give a little explanation on what's gonna happen in the future. So first, let's start with the past. I made this little video, and if you want, you could put subtitles on the YouTube subtitles somewhere around here or up here if you're on your phone. But yeah, let's start. Okay, so quick introduction about myself. My name is Alex. I am 21 years old and I live in Mexico. I have an older brother, older sister, and a mother who all live in another town. And my father lives in the USA. I see my family about 3 to 5 times a year since I don't like visiting the town they live in, and my father visits us like 2 to 3 times a year. Anyways, it all started in 2015. I was 14 years old and I lost 15 kilograms or 33 pounds in just 1 month. My family didn't notice since they see me every day, so they didn't really notice a change. However, one of my teachers from school was the one who told my mom that he noticed a crazy change in my weight. So I had to visit 3 doctors to find out what I had. The first one didn't know what was happening. The second one said I was probably just in love and it was my hormones. Yes, I'm serious. That's what he said. The last one took a look at my neck, which looked a little swollen, and immediately knew what my problem was. So first of all, you need to know what is a thyroid. The thyroid gland is inside our necks and wraps around the windpipe. What it does is that it produces hormones that control our metabolism. You know what metabolism is, that thing that happens when you eat food and your body transforms it into energy. So the doctor told me I had hyperthyroidism. My thyroid was producing too many hormones, so my metabolism was very fast. And that's why I lost a lot of weight. It's not a good thing. Sure, I lost a lot of weight, but I was malnourished, my hands were really shaky, and I felt weak and tired all the time. So for 3 years, I just had to take pills and check my hormone levels, and I was fine. One day, I took a look at myself in the mirror and saw a ball on the side of my neck. I told my doctor and he sent me to a cancer specialist. I did a lot of tests like extract liquid from that ball, x-rays, and it turns out I had thyroid cancer and it was already pretty advanced. My neck was filled with a lot of swollen nodules. I think that's what they're called, but I had 12 of those inside my neck. Everything afterwards was super expensive, and I feel bad for my family. They did a lot to pay for my treatments and surgeries. They worked a lot. They started selling food. They asked family for money. Also, my parents were saving up money to build a small house so my dad could come to Mexico and live with my mom. And they had to use that money, so yeah. I kind of hate myself for that, and I feel bad, but they tell me it doesn't matter. I had 3 surgeries in total. They opened all my neck, which is why I have big scars everywhere. The first surgery was the worst one and the most painful thing in my life. It was a 6-hour surgery. For 2 weeks, I could barely eat because it was so painful to swallow. For 3 months, I could barely talk. It took 1 year to get my voice back and like 2 years to be able to raise my voice. That's because one of my vocal cords was paralyzed during the surgery, so I probably can't become a singer now, and I can't shout. Also, I received 3 radioactive treatments. It's called a radioactive iodine. I have to do a super strict diet. The hardest thing about it was no salt. Then I have to drink the radioactive iodine and isolate myself for 2 weeks So I did those 3 times in total. And this happened during my high school days, so my late teenage years and high school life was just me being depressed, not wanting to make friends, and spending all day alone in my room. All of this has caused my body to not produce thyroid hormones or calcium or vitamin D, so I have to take pills every day for all those things for the rest of my life. How do doctors know if I'm okay? There is a blood test that tells you how much protein your thyroid has produced. Since I had surgeries and radioactive treatments to get rid of my thyroid, this blood test, it should be 0. That means I have no thyroid in my body and I'm good. However, this number has always been like 50 for me. So I did a PET CT scan and it turns out I have a couple nodules inside my lungs. So for years I have been doing x-rays. Luckily the nodules have not gotten bigger. But in 2021, my blood test for the thyroid protein increased from 50 to 60. Doctors got worried and one of them told me my cancer had probably came back. That's when I got worried and nervous and made my videos saying my story about cancer. The doctor said I should do a PET CT scan to see if I have cancer spreading. It's not cheap and we needed the results fast, which is why I made the fundraiser. Also, thank you to everyone who donated. I'm being serious. July 2021 was when I did my test, and it was also the hardest financial month for my parents. They were having a rough time with money, and I had to lend them some from the fundraiser and my savings for a BTS concert, but they paid back already, so it's good. The results of my scan were negative. I don't have cancer spreading. My doctor, who is a specialist in cancer, told me I don't have to see him anymore. I just have to visit a thyroid specialist to check my hormone levels. Turns out my thyroid protein levels might just stabilize at around 50, 60, and as long as the cancer doesn't come back, I'm fine. Here's an interesting story. Why do I still have thyroid cells after everything that I did? My doctor told me I could have been scammed. He said there was a rumor about the town giving less radioactive treatments to people. The town imports the radioactive iodine from USA, so everything they buy is registered. But he said they were selling more than they bought. So let's say that in the documents it says that 10,000 liters of radioactive iodine was imported, but 20,000 liters were sold. How did that happen? Well, you can make a guess. And me and my mom might actually think we were scammed because here's what happened. The first time I received a dose of 100, I don't know what it's measured in, but 100 of radioactive iodine, I visited the USA 2 months later and the radioactivity detectors activated. And I had to show them a letter saying I received radioactive treatment and that I was causing this. Then I received 200 of radioactive iodine, so double. Also 200 is a lot. And the doctors gave us a discount in the price, so we thought he was being nice. And 1 month later, I visited the USA and the radioactivity detectors did not go off. How come I received 100, went to the USA 2 months later, and their detectors turned on? But then I received literally double, 200, went to the USA 1 month later, so way sooner, and the detector did not turn on. Maybe that is why I still have thyroid cells in my body. Who knows? But I have already taken so much radioactive iodine that I can only take one more dose for the rest of my life. So doctors can't give it to me unless they are 100% sure I need it. So now this is why I probably won't make another cancer vlog or update, because for the rest of my life, I just have to be doing x-rays on my lungs and my neck and check my hormone levels, make sure they are okay and not increasing. If they do start increasing a lot, it's probably because my cancer is back. I'll have to visit a cancer specialist again, and I will need to do another PET CT scan. This is what I'm going to save the extra money from the fundraiser for. I might put it into my bank savings account or maybe into stocks, since I've invested in stocks before. And I'll just leave it there and take it out in case I ever need it. You don't have to worry about me spending it, because if I do decide to take it out and spend it, then one day I might need to do a PET CT scan. And since I will already be an adult with a job, I'm going to have to pay for it myself. So I'd rather just save that extra money so that it doesn't affect me financially if that happens. This is going to be my life from now on, taking pills every day, checking my hormone levels, doing x-rays. I'm trying to eat healthy, do exercise, and hopefully that makes the cancer not come back. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. People say that if you're healthy, there's a lower chance of getting cancer. I mean, I know these days everything causes cancer, all right? So you're never 100% free from it, but I'm trying to do everything that I can to prevent the cancer from coming back. As I said, I'm eating healthy, exercising. I have lost a bit of weight since the last video, like 6 kilograms. Also, I bought some weights. I've been doing some weights as well. And that's because I'm very weak. Because before, a couple years ago, I used to weigh like 90 kilograms. So I started doing a whole bunch of diets and cardio to lose weight, and it worked. But throughout all of that, I never, ever did weights or strength training. So this is where I get my drinking water. All right, here in my town, there's no tap water, stuff like that. And before, I used to be able to carry this a couple blocks. I would just go to the store and carry it back home. And then recently, I started realizing that I was having a bit of trouble just bringing it from the car to the inside of my house. So yeah, that's why I'm now lifting weights. But not only am I trying to get better physically, I'm also trying to get better emotionally. I've been trying to be a more positive person, think better about life, about myself. I've been gaining confidence recently and working on that. And I've been feeling real good so far. If everything goes well and the cancer never comes back, then yeah, I'll just be doing tests like once a year, doing blood tests, making sure everything's all right. That's why I say hopefully this will be the last update, because hopefully I won't ever have to see my doctor that's a specialist in cancer. And honestly, if my dad wasn't working in America, I don't even know what would have happened with me. Everything that we had to pay for, it was expensive, and I don't even know how someone with a Mexican wage would have been able to pay for it. Like, minimum wage here is like $7 a day, so 8 hours, and in America it's around 8 to 10 per hour. Also, at the time, my dad was working on a big project, but that's why I feel bad, all right? He was using that money to try to buy a house and start a business so he can come back. The only reason he's over there is because he has a job over there and it's a good opportunity, so he doesn't want to lose it. But yeah, because of that, I haven't lived with my dad in a long time. He has stayed over there, and the rest of my family has stayed here in Mexico. So yeah, hopefully I can be successful and pay back one day. That's been my story. Again, thank you to everyone who's been watching these videos. It's been so nice to be able to talk about it, because no one ever asked me anything about my story with cancer. I feel like they think it's a sensitive topic, when in reality, I don't really care. In fact, I guess it's a little bit cool being able to say that I survived cancer. But yeah, you all know, and that makes me happy. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you. I love you all. I'm not gonna let any of this that happened to me affect me in a negative way. I'll keep living my life normally, try to keep a positive mindset, keep my healthy lifestyle, and say F you to cancer, don't come back. That's been it, and thank you so much for watching.